Hello, lovely people. I'm Sinead, and welcome. I really didn't have any idea what I was going to craft today and talk, and it just, let's just say I've had a weird couple of days, breaking a lot of things, dropping a lot of things, and it hasn't bothered me so much, like I'm not getting upset about it, but it does mean that, I feel like the brain's not quite functioning properly. So I'm going to share what I've accomplished, and if I come up with something that like clicks, we'll do that. First of all, I have a picture here. Can you see that? This is what I donated to the Pacific Northwest Artist Doll Expo. I'll put a link in the description. For their get together in, I believe it's in May, June. I think it's in that space of, I haven't looked at the dates, so that'll need to be looked up. But this is for the raffle, and I also donated to the goodie bags, and got those in the mail. That was my accomplishment there. Those got shipped out. I also had fun doing a lot of the paper crafts from the virtual doll convention. These dresses, these paper dresses here, the pattern for them was designed by Mark Tinkey, and the graphic decoration of it is done by Dee in Brazil. And I added, I love her hat, by the way, and yes, I did this one. It's simple crochet hat, but I really like the way it does the whole beach thing. But anyway, I added lace to the bottom with just some double stick tape. So she has this cute disposable dress. And I printed it on cardstock, and I glued instead of taping the seams, but the back is taped. You can get those through the virtual doll convention. I believe they are still in the Elwyn boutique. Here's the other one I put together, and this one I put a different trim. It's a striped pleated piece of trim. It's one same one I used on the historical gown, and I took one of them, printed them out, and of course they're way too big for the Illy dolls, and I just, like, the top of it was up here, and I basically cut it down to fit the Illy doll. So it's got narrower, and got cut down narrower through here, and just freehanded it. I didn't plan it. I didn't use a pattern. I just freehanded. Oh, that looks right. I got it on her and was like, oh, she needs darts. So I glued in, a couple of darts to make it fit a little bit better. And then you might see here where the tape's been pulled off. I had some pom-poms in pink and lavender, and I stuck them on the front. I've got it like this so that I can trace it, so that if I want to do it again, I don't have to guess. I can pull up a file and print it out, and be able to repeat the process if I want to do it. Let's see. My youngest, Cloud, is an interesting creator. They create with audacity. There's not a lot of skill or time and energy put into learning how to do something. They just do it. And so they wanted this pair of black pants, satin black pants. They got the material, and they just dove in. And they ran into some problems, as will happen. Now, most everything they do this way, that they just create with audacity, turns out looking halfway decent. And, I wouldn't wear, but they will, and they love it, and that's what's important. Now, when I say I wouldn't wear it, that's a lie, because I'm wearing those black pants right now. So they got done with the black pants, and they were so frustrated because the waistband didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. And I said, well, you can go back, and they just shut down right there. They were like, no, I can't go back. I don't go back. Not for anybody. And I went, that's fair. You don't want to go back. There are times I don't go back. And they said, here, you can use it for fabric for dolls. And I thought, okay. And I was feeling it, and the way in which they'd done it, it made it feel like the fabric was a lot thicker than I thought, than what I wanted to use on doll clothes. And so I thought, you know what? They may fit me. Now, Cloud is taller than I am and has been thinner. In fact, I think they still are technically thinner than I am. They got their dad's build, and they're much more pulled out. You know, they don't look like me either. They look like their dad. Anyway, so I took the pants and I was like, well, you know, I'm going to try these on before I start pulling them apart and using them for something else. And I was able to get them on, and I was like, wow, I need pants. And if I just fix those issues, like there was some blown out seams where the way they finished it didn't work, and that actually, you know, was raw edges on the outside and was going to become holes. And so I fixed those, and I totally took off the waistband. And one of the things that is completely different between Cloud and I is where our waist is. And I shortened up the stride so that it would be low rise on them and hit me in the right place. So when I took it apart and redid the waistband and fixed all the issues that they were having there, which one of them was that they accidentally sewed it to the inside when it was supposed to be sewn to the outside so that it finished different. Anyway, came out fine. And in fact, oddly enough, the waistband is now a little bit bigger than it was. And since they have elastic in the waistband, that didn't matter. And they fit great. And one of the things that I want to do is add silk patch pockets. So yeah, I'm sitting here with, you know, 2 pieces of black silk, you know, and these are going to be really thin pockets, and I have no idea how well that's going to last, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Just go ahead and make up the patch pocket, stick it on, see how it works. The only thing that's going in there, well, is things that could actually wear through, like my phone. But that's something to think about, isn't it? You know, maybe I should line it. The black silk has a different texture than the rayon satin that the pants are, but, you know, you just run with it. Kind of like the audacity that created them to begin with. Another thing that I did this weekend was make over one of the Glitter Girl. You see that it was a teal, and it says Glitter Girl on the bottom, tables into something that's a little, I don't know, less bright, but still, I think it took the mismatch and made it uniform. And I glued craft sticks to the top. That idea came out of Mamselle magazine, and I just took the time to do it. You do have to sand your plastic before you paint it, and it does have that feeling like it's easily scratched. So it might get nicked up, but I'm still considering doing it to the other set because I have another set, and it's yet more colors. Even though I really like the colorful stuff, I think that it works better in the photographs if they're uniform, especially with the toner dolls. I just think it makes it a little classier. So I may do the other set the same way so that I think it'll still look good in the sweet shop when I set that up, but we'll add a little more class when I'm using it for the other stuff. And then you can also see that the back here in the background, the market stall, I worked on that. And the dress that I was working on before I did story time was finished, and I actually posted it on social media around Easter to as Wednesday's Easter dress, because this hat makes me think Easter, but it's black. And so it's got a silk underskirt underneath the lace, and that's just sewn in here. I finished the strip of cloth, so it has no raw edges showing at all. And with silk, that's kind of important, where you end up with these stringers of silk threads going everywhere. Anyway, so I put that underneath, just a gathered strip of cloth to line underneath the lace part. And the Anne thing through the virtual doll convention had a puddle jumping theme for Anne. And I made a puddle, just a piece of plastic and the dimensional type glue put on top. One of these times I am going to take the Elmer's or just a PVA glue and see what it does and how it works. But this was fun. This was a fun creation to do and do it. It looks pretty cool in the pictures. If you've seen them, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure where all I posted, but maybe you will have seen them. And I have a doll stomping in the puddle, and then another picture with the ducks on the puddle. And I have begun, admittedly 4 times, which is to say that this is the dress, the full dress. So we've got the whole skirt on the needle here, and there's the lace pattern that goes in the center, and then this is the back of the dress, and the other side is the other side of the back of the dress. Well, I'm working it out for the pattern, which means I have to do it exactly like the pattern. That means that if I realize that I have decreased where I wasn't supposed to too soon, don't make up for that, go back and fix it, because I need it to come out exactly as the pattern is written so that I can double check that everything works. None of this audacity. Yes, I use it when I'm knitting. When I'm not trying to create a pattern from something, I will often catch a mistake and then just correct it rather than, like change my stitch count to correct the problem rather than going back and taking it out and starting over, which I have started over on this, I think the 4th time. And I was probably about an inch in when I realized I needed to go back and start over again. The 4th time. I don't know. I think I think I made it about an inch each time. Like I'd get an inch into it, there would be a mistake. I'd have to go back down to, I was taking it back down to this edge here. The first time though, I had to start over completely. It was just major, just take it all out, start the whole stitch count over again. I don't like doing that. I really don't like having to start all the way over, because that first row is the hardest for me. It's the hardest one for me to tackle and make sure the stitch count is right and keep everything going right. Anyway, it's not my favorite thing in the world to do. And I did it. I made myself do it. I made myself get this far into it. So hopefully from here on out, it's smooth sailing and there are very few mistakes that I have to go back and take out. But that is something I am still very much working on, is trying to get that knit pattern finished, verified and finished. And I apologize to the one person who wanted the historical thing done as a pattern. I've dropped that one in just a little bit out of frustration as to the best way to go about creating it as a pattern that you can understand. And I may or may not pick it back up. So just going to apologize now for that. The 1760s gown. It may get revisited, and I may just do it as a top. Like you can put any full skirt you want underneath it. That might make it easier for me to tackle if I don't have to do the whole thing. And you know who you are. Let me know if that's okay. If just the bodice would do. And I think I'm looking around here at all the stuff I spread out. And that's, I think, all that I have worked on. Probably not, though. I'm looking over in the corner and going, no, there was other things. But I will say that the pottery here, this is not the pottery that's in the shop for sale on Fairy Rags. This is just the collection in my room of stuff that the various different setups have. There is actually better pottery available on Fairy Rags in the miniature. And then if you want full size, it's available. Mudwood Cottage will get you there, and Mudwood Gnomes will get you there. The full size pottery is there, and the miniatures are in Fairy Rags Mercantile. And hey, any and all support, purchasing patterns, anything is very much appreciated. It really helps us continue to be able to be I don't know, to feed ourselves. It's been really, really tight the first part of this year because we didn't have any cushion at all. And we're going into taking over all the stuff that you do in starting a business. And it has not been financially easy because there was only one market that we were going to. Most businesses were not up for doing their their wholesale purchases that they would do from us. And we were trying to cultivate more of that, and it just takes time. It just takes a lot of time to cultivate that wholesale presence and that relationship. And let's face it, everybody in January and February are notoriously short on cash to invest in that kind of stuff. So we were squeaking by. I mean, just really, really just barely squeaking by, and hanging on with the fingernails, right? And going, oh, which bill can we not pay? And so all support, very much appreciated. It keeps us solvent. And we've got 2 markets that Arthur is now attending, the one in Port Townsend and the one in Ballard, which if you're in the Washington, Seattle area, you can totally go find him there. We actually have a bakery in town called Krusty Crumb that carries our pottery if you want to go in and look at it and pick something out there. We have several places that will be carrying their branded version of what we do, like the Corner Farm Stand in Chimacum carries the Oyas and cups and stuff, and then that branded with their little turnip chicken. And over in across the water in Coopville, there are 2 different shops there that carry their branded version of our stuff. And so and we're working on the elevated ice cream and the Maritime Center. Haven't gotten quite there yet, but we're working to come up with something that they like. And I think there's some others that Arthur's been working on, trying to see what they want and what we can do to meet that. He's networking at the markets, which is great because there is a lot of stuff at the market that if we can do, trades there, that works out great for us and them. And it's just part of, nourishing that community. And I hope that you find a way to check it out and see what it is we do besides just me and the dollhouse and the miniatures. While that is very much a part of what we do, or what I do, and every time I can rope Arthur or Joey into doing something, I do. But the main focus of what we do is full-size pottery. And I hope that you have enjoyed this ramble, because it has definitely been a ramble. And that you have a delightful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.